Lamb school that I mentioned last night, that's a charter school in Kansas City. God is at work. In the neighborhood center in Utica, who we've already mentioned this morning. Utica is the closest national mission institution to the church that one of my colleagues attends. And as we have moved into this place where we're more tightly connected to our national mission institutions, their unit decided that they were going to visit with the folks in Utica. So they made an appointment. Not a big, earth-shaking, we have a mission and we're out to change the world. They decided they were going to have tea together. The mothers who participate in the community center at Utica many are from different refugee families. They've been resettled in the upstate New York area. Many of them not from countries that have a lot of upper New York State winter. So it's a very startling transition for those families. And the mothers came, the members of the United Methodist Women came, they had tea together, they held each other's babies, they spoke a little English, they spoke lots of smiles, lots of hugs, lots of touches of the shoulder, and they felt the ministry of God together. Now they'll go back, they'll make a plan. They're United Methodist Women, you know that they're going to work. Something is going to come out of that. There'll be lay etiquette, or a coat closet, or something that will come out of that contact. But the very first thing they did together was to have tea. Just to be together. To show how they loved each other. And that assembling of people together, the witness of the Spirit between us, among us, and in us, is very much in the nature of Christian conferencing that Wesley called us to as a means of grace. Coming together. Let my perception of the world stand beside your perception of the world, and let us both grow. Let me be open to the things that you can see that I can't see, because I haven't had your experience. I'm not complete without you, and you're not complete without me. Doesn't mean I have to come in and explain the world to you, or that I must sit as a student, but that we can stand together, share together, engage in this exchange of mutual affection, and that we might, through that, learn how to love Jesus better, because we know something about the world that he loves. The people that God created. Christian conference. Thinking together. Struggling together. Influenced by that public and private prayer. Influenced by searching the scriptures. Using the means of grace to engage us in that regeneration, that receiving of energy, allowing it to affect us through and through, and being sent into the world to make a difference from generation to generation, taking on the issues of our day, whether they're the issues that are comfortable for us or not. Just like Wesley's participation in the influence and the pressure in England to abolish the slave trade, Wesley actually stopped drinking tea at some point. It was huge for him because the tea trade was very much involved in the commerce of slavery worldwide. Sound a little like fair trade work to anybody? We're regenerating those commitments by taking them in, by seeing the world differently, by struggling with the scriptural text and saying, what does it mean for me today? How should we live together? he knew personally the witness of the Psalms, the heart Psalms, and how that is sort of our portable scripture. You don't have to pack it. It doesn't weigh you down. You don't even have to wait 37 seconds for it to download on your Kindle. It's in there. The Psalms bring the text to us. They're part of what we can do to meditate, to regenerate, to pay attention to the call of God, to reframe the world, to think about things in a different way. So I encourage you, particularly as we experience the rest of this day together, to look at the texts of the hymn. I had a wonderful choir director when I was at the Henry Church in Nashville, and he would always say that when there is a conflict between the text and the tune wins. So if you have a sad tune and a happy text, it feels like a sad song. If you have a happy tune and a sad text or a serious text, you still sing it in a happy way. The way the tune sticks in our mind is part of what makes it portable. So I don't want to just say don't pay attention to that. In fact, having had the opportunity to be in Nashville, I resonate a little with those of you from Austin. Both cities are very proud of their particular live music. And the Nashville artists would say that the tune operates as an earworm. It works its way into your ear. And that's why we remember commercials and choruses and hymn tunes, because they have an earworm. So they make themselves part of us. But I encourage you to look at the words. Sometimes the earworm is so familiar that it lifts our sight away from the words. Let the words sink in as well as the tune. Help that to reshape our day together. And let us think about as we move through this day and head towards communion, which Wesley also listed as a means of grace, that all of what we are engaged in has this sort of sacramental aspect. The regular means of grace, regular reading of the text, regular visitation with the poor, regular sharing of our spiritual growth, our spiritual questions, regular participating in public and private worship, communion, where we can expect the Spirit to be present. We know that the Spirit is present. And that's what takes us to regeneration. So that we're transformed, not conformed to the world, but transformed by the renewing of our minds from generation to regeneration.